Easy pounder though, for sure. Good kind of piney, resiny, just a really nice balance. Easy drinking IPA.
The Liquid Culture.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Liquid Culture. Mitchell Chirac here with you again today. Thanks for joining, appreciate it. Gonna knock out a quick video today, just going to do a very quick beer review, not a full-on brewery expose or anything like that. Want to talk briefly about Cigar City and taste some of the beers that they have on offer here in the Dallas area. This video was actually, I guess the reason that I'm filming this was came about because an article came out recently that I had read. Who did it? Who did the article? drinkbusiness.com. Put out a top 10 list of what, I mean, they literally called it the top 10 breweries in the world, which kind of assumes that means that these are the top 10 breweries in the world based off kind of what the products that they put out. Upon looking at the list, I think there are some that I would agree with and some that I would disagree with, including having this brewery, Cigar City, on that list. Now, don't get me wrong, Cigar City makes incredible beers, especially the High Lie, which I was incredibly stoked to have show up in the Dallas market. But to be on a list with breweries like Trillium and McKellar and Evil Twin, Hill Farmstead, I don't know if they really belong in that list, but then again, I've only had a few of their offerings that I guess would be considered like special offerings that aren't just some of these canned beers that they have started putting out since they joined forces with Canarchy and are now one of the largest and fastest growing craft breweries in the country. Having said that, again, don't want to downplay their quality because they do make some fantastic beers, especially some of their IPAs. But do they deserve to be on a top 10 breweries in the world list with all the breweries that are out there making some very, very special products? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people who live in Florida and the Tampa region would probably think that they should be on the top 10 list, and I might be hurting your feelings. So let me know if you guys think that they deserve to be in the top 10 list. Please tell me I'm wrong. But the offerings that I have available to me are what you see in front of you. These are the 3 canned offerings that they have for sale here in the Dallas area. These can be found at literally any grocery store in a 6-pack. Like I said before, I have tried some of their other special seasonal limited release offerings at GABF and other beer fests across the country, and they are all solid beers, very solid beers. Again, especially the High Lie, was super excited when that came to Dallas, and I can start buying it in 6-packs now. So let's dive in. I'm gonna start with their Tampa style lager. Of course, starting with this one first, just because it is the most basic offering they have. I do like the packaging, very basic, kind of straightforward, good color template here that they're using. Just gonna pour a little bit here, set it back down. Nice foamy head there to start. It is hanging around, real clear, nice golden color. It smells, it definitely smells like a pretty standard American lager. I would say there's a little bit of a fruity characteristic going on to it. It actually smells quite nice. It doesn't have any of that kind of stale bar kind of smell that you get off of like a standard American light style lager, like Miller Lite or whatever. Yeah, pretty plain. Pretty basic beer. Easy pounder though, for sure. I don't know what the, let's see, 4.5 on the alcohol. Pretty good there. Not a lot going on. I mean, as you would expect, it is a lager. Tampa style lager. I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but there is some good characteristic to it. Hops are subtle. Honestly, when I drink this beer, again, it's definitely better than a standard kind of mass-produced American light style lager, but it really just makes me want to go sit on a tailgate somewhere and just pound one after another of these. I mean, that's definitely the vibe that it's putting off. That's what it's making me think about. Beyond that, I don't really know what other situation you'd want to drink this beer. You're probably paying a lot more than you would pay for something pretty comparable to get the job done that this beer would get done. But not bad. Okay. I have no Latin influence in my background, so I'm probably going to butcher the name of this beer here. It is a Citra Pale Ale, Guayabera. I think it's named after a style of shirt that's very popular, like in the Cuban community there in Florida. As you can tell, Cigar City, like I said, they're from Tampa. The Cuban and kind of Latin American history and vibe that's going on down in that area are big influences to the Cigar City brewing brand. A lot of their beers have a name or, and branding based off of a lot of that great, Cuban and Latin American culture that they have there in that part of the country. So very cool stuff. I'm a huge cigar guy. So obviously right off the bat, I love the name of the brewery. A little bit of a darker color there. The head, not so much. I'm going to have a feeling that this is a slightly less effervescent beer than the last one, but deeper color. You can tell that I think we're going to kind of go up in flavor and body just based off of the look of the color. And immediately there is a difference in aroma. With this, you have a lot of that Citra hop characteristic that's coming through. That good kind of piney, resiny, but a little bit of the candied hop. If you've ever smelled hops that, not fresh hops, but the hop pellets, like right before, if you've ever brewed beer before, you know what I'm talking about. It almost has this like kind of candied smell to it. And you can definitely smell that in here. Yeah, I would say definitely less effervescent than the lager, but it, really nice and smooth. The bitterness from the hop is coming through, but it's not IPA style bitterness. It's very restrained. You do get a little. I mean, it is still lingering, the bitter characteristic. So I would say this is definitely just one notch up from the lager. You get more of that hop characteristic, a little bit more body to this, and yeah, that bitterness is still lingering a little bit there. Again, not ultra complex, but again, just a really good everyday kind of pale ale. If you want to crack one after a long day, being outside, something like that, and just want something with a little bit of that extra bitter punch to it, this would definitely be the better option over the lager. But the aroma is really nice. Definitely a lot of that Citra coming through. Okay, High. So, High was actually my very first introduction to Cigar City, which I think that Cigar City would probably be happy to hear, because this is really like their flagship beer. This is a beer that they are very well known for. I actually had this when I was on a business trip in Orlando. They had it at a bar that I was at there. And one of my buddies had it before and could kind of, was putting it out there, oh my God, you got to try this Jai Alai. Really good IPA. Got to check it out. Of course, back then I never really had access to it. So when I went to Florida, wanted to make sure I checked it out. And I was happy that I did. This is just a really beautiful IPA. You can see it's certainly not in the New England style. Really nice and clear. No kind of haziness or anything like that going on. Pretty decent head that it pours here right out of the can. So the nose is not as pronounced as the pale ale. That kind of jumps out of the glass a little bit more than the Citra, which is surprising to me. You have to really kind of dig down in there to pick up any of those notes on the Jai Alai. But what you do pick up with the Jai Alai is more of a malt characteristic. Whereas with this one, you really only smell the hops, the Citra hops coming through. With the Jai Alai, you do get that hop smell and you get some of that orange peel. But the malt is something that actually is coming through more so than the hops. Bear Brick fans out there? Let's hear you in the comments. If you love Bear Bricks, let me know. So this is just a really smooth, sessionable. I mean, I don't know if they would think that it's sessionable. I think it's got a little bit of a higher alcohol. Yeah, 7.5 on the alcohol, but it doesn't taste like it. You don't get any sort of like real heavy body. You don't get a real big alcohol punch. The bitterness actually is probably about equal to the pale ale. Just a really nice balance. Easy drinking IPA. Yeah. I would say that these guys definitely step up. Each one that you go to is a slight step up from the previous one. Jai Alai definitely is my favorite of the three. I think that the lager, honestly, no offense, Cigar City, but I don't think that there's any real reason to go out and buy this lager. I don't think that it really is a differentiator from any other lager that's out on the market right now, and you're probably going to pay a premium because it's a craft beer. The pale ale is actually really nice. I would certainly recommend picking up some of this, especially if you're someone who doesn't like the bigger malt kick of a full-blown IPA with a lot of bitterness, but you like a little more bitterness than your everyday blonde ale or something like that. This is actually a nice little number here. I would pick this up. This is a nice one. The Jai Alai, you got to try Jai Alai. I mean, especially if you're an IPA drinker, even if you're not an IPA drinker, it's really, it's one of those IPAs that it's a good introductory IPA, but also for IPA drinkers, it's something that, is very well balanced, good hop characteristic, good malt characteristic, overall, very solid beer. So that's Cigar City. Again, these are their basic offerings, canned offerings that we have here in the Dallas market. I'm sure, a lot of you are probably going to say you need to take a trip to Florida, get some of the more seasonal. I mean, if you look at their Beer Advocate profile, they have, there's easily 100, 150 beers on here, different fruit IPAs and crazy stouts with all kinds of habaneros and cinnamon and this and that. And I know that they have a really strong following. I love the Highlight. That's what I've had. Like I said, I've had some of the other I think I had like the white peach Highlight at GABF, stuff like that, and they're great. So let me know. I mean, if you guys out there, some of you may be living in Florida, you've had some of their other offerings. Let me know if you think that they deserve to be in the top 10. I'd like to hear that. I would really like to hear kind of a perspective of somebody from that area. So that's it for today, guys. Real short and sweet. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for joining me. Later.